Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Titans live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam L, and this is Talk with the Titans. Oh man. So what's really good though, family? Tree. I need you guys to just support us and show us the goddamn love. You guys to do that by hitting the thumbs up button literally now. Let's know that you're here to actually support us. And of course, if you guys would like to jump on and be involved with this show, the link is inside of the description box right now. Okay. So I need you guys to come on as soon as possible and let this show pop off. Because otherwise, you know how I feel already. I'm ready for my bed. So I'm literally gonna leave this show open for you guys. So as soon as you guys are ready to jump in and actually participate and do the damn, let me know. Otherwise, whilst we're still here and nobody's on, and we're waiting for everybody just to kind of flood in and hit the like button and share. Throw some questions out my way, okay? Please throw some questions out my way, and let's keep it hella interactive, okay? Hella interactive, and let's kind of just jam with each other. Let's jam with each other. I'm not going to be on here for far too long. I'm just going to give you that as my little word of warning. So whoever would like to come on, I'm really expecting you guys to kind of just, take on the show. Take on the show. My brother Buddha is in the building. I'm really expecting you guys to just kind of like hold it down whilst I'm just, snoring in one corner and you guys are just doing the thing. All right. Scholar Squad, man, like Fifth Avenue Phil, Kemet Clan. Yeah. Infinity Wars. Yo. In Infinity Wars was hella dope. I loved it still, secretly, yeah. I'm kind of feeling all the bad guys, like I'm feeling the bad guys because they've really started to give bad character or the supposed like evil guys or the bad characters, they're giving them soul. They're actually giving them a backstory, in a certain sense. They're really showing that they have emotions, they care for things. I love all that concepts. I love that. I love, the whole, the character build up. Like they really make you like enthralled with the characters. So I love that. The whole how can I put it, balancement, that right there, the balancement. Thanos being the person who does what other people, what's right to do, but just don't have the and an emotional fortitude to carry it out. So at the end of the day, is Thanos really the bad guy, or is Thanos a guy that does what he knows needs to be done for there to be order and balance in this world? Hmm. Good question. Good question. I don't know, and I'm still waiting. I really want to see how this pans out. Because we had man like what's his name, Doctor Strange. He went into all different types of realities with the time stone. It's like, yo, there is only one. Out of the 4 million ways I viewed, there is only one way of winning. Dun, dun, dun. I wonder, is that the way? So, anyways, I can't wait. It's going to be excellent if you guys come on here and actually speak the thing. But again, remember, we're supposed to be doing 2 topics tonight. The first topic is to do with slavery. Is it choice? That's based upon Kanye West's words. And the second topic is something to do with Quran and Testament, Muslim, Christian debate somehow or conversation somehow. So I'm waiting for you guys to come on. And again, the link is in the description box. You already know that I'm ready to go, but we're waiting here for you guys. 14 million. Yeah, that's right. 14 million, not 4 million. There you go. Respect needs to learn how to spell. I missed it. It will be a black panel, no doubt. Well, Liam, come on, baby. Come on. This show, like, you know what it is? It's crazy, yeah. Because I hear a lot of people complaining, oh, why is the panels one-sided? Well, like the link is always there for you guys to join in, like literally in the description box. You have the link. Like sometimes, I go speakers corner, like my Muslim brethren, they're always complaining, oh, why is there no like proper Muslims on here, or no Salafi Muslims or Sunni Muslims or whatever the case is. I'm like, you lot are watching the show. the worst thing is you're watching the show live, okay, and you're deciding not to come onto the show, and then somehow your faction gets, I don't want to say exposed. Exposed is the wrong word, but makes you guys not look too good. And I'm like, but hold on, you do realize you had the opportunity, and you still have the opportunity to come on at any moment in time to actually, hold it down for your community. So don't blame me, okay? I leave my platform is open for everybody to join. Even the trolls decide to come on and join it, and they love it. So if you guys want to join and be involved, just let me know. All you have to do is click the link below, and let's get it. All right. Shout out to Rightcha for donating. Yeah, I don't think you guys know. You guys literally allow these shows to continue with your donations, with your help, with your support. I'm talking about those people who may not necessarily donate money, but donate their likes and their shares and the interaction. You guys literally make these shows what it is. So thank you for donating, Rightcha. And if you got any message for our community, please just type in your message. Just tag me Titans TV, and I'll definitely read it out for everybody to know. Again, guys, if you guys want to support Titans TV, all you have to do is hit the super chat button. It's the sign that looks like $1. Hit that, and you can choose to donate as much as you like. And of course, we can also donate via the PayPal or the GoFundMe link as well. Either way, whichever suits you guys. So let's get it in, family. Let's get it in. I want to have some nice conversations now. So who we got in right now?
Hi, bro.
First person to unmute their mic, Professor. All right, go ahead. Do you have anything?
I'm just saying hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to talk about, you're going to talk about the K&W West thing, so I wanted to get into the conversation because I want to put my point of view about it, if that's all right with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we all know that, first of all, that's actually no. The answer is simply no. Slavery was not a choice. You don't put chains and shackles on people, and the ancestors was not happy about that. That's like, what's the word I'm looking for? That's something you've been forced on. That's not something that we gladly and wishfully wanted to happen to us. Nobody would like to get chained up and get thrown in the bottom of boats, get vomited, and have feces all over the place like that and treated like dirt. So I'm just saying that it's not a choice.
Stop there. So that's saying that.
I think it's absolute garbage. So it's simple like that.
I need you to mute your mic. Okay? Because I'm not going to be here speaking all day long. All right. So my brother just put up a very interesting point, and he's talking about the act of being kidnapped, brutalized, tortured, and enslaved itself. Fair enough. That's not a choice. But 400 years? 400 years? How, Sway? How? How is that not a choice? How is that not a choice? For 400 plus years, you had to have chosen to carry on with the slavery. Don't tell me you didn't choose to carry on with the slavery. I'll mute your mic, G. 100 years was not a choice, or are you saying you was forced to be in that way? No response. God damn. Do I have to speak gently? To get a response.
Yes, Callum. Let's
go on, Buddha. Talk to me.
You know me, man. I'm going to be controversial. In fact, no, I'm not going to be controversial. Slavery in its inception was not a choice. Slavery today is a choice. You can choose to be a slave. You can choose to be a slave to the system. Do you understand? Once you're aware of it, you can choose. If you're aware of a slavery in the system and you continue, then you're making that choice to be... Right, okay, all right. Who's got the scratch cards out? Who is that?
It's Mohin. Brother Mohin, why is it every time you come on, it's always the same like scratching noise?
Man's there trying to be a DJ. All right. Yeah, so that's my point. I believe in the beginning, obviously, there was no choice in the matter. But now, today, in this 2018, we have choices. Do you get what I'm saying? Even before that, Jesse Owen, Joe Lewis, all of those guys, did they choose to stay and be slaves, or did they excel? Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, did they choose to have that slave mentality, or did they choose to excel? We have choices to make. We can't blame the system. You can either blame the system and be a slave and be a victim, or you can surpass it. That's the way I look at things.
Can I be a bit controversial there?
Go ahead, rich kid.
I think his point was probably taken out of context. I'm being controversial, just weighing how you feel. Personally, I think what he was saying, if you're, people say it's a choice, but I don't think he was saying it's a choice from the beginning. It's a choice that you remain in that position for 400 years, and you didn't even pick up a stone and fight. The last thing black people is going to do is fight. So they remain in that condition. I think it was taken out of context. That's just my opinion still. It's rather to be free than live as a slave.
That's it. All right. Again, if you guys would like to speak, what I need you guys to do is constantly keep your mics on mute and unmute your mic and mute your mic again so I know that you want to speak. Okay? So now I'm going to go straight over to my brother Phil. But again, keep your mics on mute at all times.
Yo, Scholar Squad, Kemet Clan.
Done no.
Building. So listen, I think studies show that no one wants to willingly be a slave unless it's either that or death. You have to get presented with that type of option. I don't think people just run unless they're conditioned right into slavery. No one's going to run in and say, I want to be a slave unless they're conditioned or it's even death. You know, usually in war, you'll see if a soldier doesn't want to die, he'll give up. So he'll miss being enslaved instead of dying. Hopefully with hope that he could escape or someone come rescue him. But, you know, if you're not going to be taken alive, then, you know, go out there in a blaze of glory. But usually self-preservation, and if you have to be a slave, then and that's considered self-preservation, then that'll be the choice. So, what he said, look, first and foremost, we know Kanye is mentally ill, and when I look at him, he could have said that from a place of something that we call decompensation. He's decomped, meaning he has no perception of reality. Or he might have an acute perception of reality. I don't think he's fully mentally ill, but he may have acute issues from when his mother passed. Highly stresses in your environment can trigger things in your brain, and it may cause a chemical imbalance. So, with that being said, I don't think he was in a state of reality when he said it, meaning he was decomping. And that's just from my assessment of my mental health profession. And I don't believe people should take him serious when it comes to that. Take his music serious. But as far as his political stance and his views, I don't think people should take him serious. And that's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you. Let me get my brother Mohin involved. Brother Mohin, go ahead. You come meet your mic now.
Yeah, Kalam, I just want to know, how much of my comments were you reading on your last stream?
Not many that I can recall.
Because I just wanted to ask you. I read an article yesterday, and it's basically talking about like black people being genetically less intelligent than other races. And then I was actually doing research, and I actually found that there's less scientists that are black than other races. So I'll go, what's your opinion on like, some people saying that black people have low IQs genetically?
To be honest with you, that's not even like part of the conversation right now. But what would be really good?
Let me tackle that.
Go ahead.
All right. So check it. Let's just say you come apart with a civilization. See, now when you say that, you have to look at the structures in Mali that was built. That takes some type of form of intelligence. You have to look at.
You know what, Phil. I know. You know what? I know everybody, like especially in the black community, is dying to answer this question, but I don't even want to detract from where we are right now. And we're talking about Kanye West and
I don't know what the topic is.
Okay, no problem.
Kanye West and slavery.
No problem.
And his slavery comment. So, you know, I don't want to detract from that. So, unfortunately, Mohin, maybe another time we'll jump into that. But right now, it's Kanye West and slavery. All right. So, who actually wants to tackle this topic? I'm actually trying to find the video itself where Kanye West made this comment. so we can actually see the context. If anybody has the link to the to where he actually made the comment, that would be awesome. Man, like medicine, man. What you saying, G? You need to get involved. So, anybody else who wants to open up their mic and actually tackle this topic, please let me know. Just open up your mic right now because I'm just typing.
Yeah, so I think we need to find someone who is counter to our views. I think Rich Kid, myself, you kind of nailed our colours to the mast in a sense. So it's a case of finding someone who doesn't agree. It's a sorry state of affairs. I mean, you know, it's the mentality, the whole. I mean, boy, how far do we want to go with this conversation? All right, look, it's the slave mentality, the slave ethos, the victim. A lot of people are quick. A lot of black people, I should say, are quick to jump and say, "Yo, victim, victim. It's because I'm black. It's because I'm black." We got to start looking forward, looking past that now. Do you understand? In my experience and my understanding, we need to look past that. Let me give you an example, right? There's no housing, there's no housing, there's no housing. If black people were together in a certain way, for example, if Rich Kid, Kalam, myself, and probably Professor, every time we work, we put a piece of money together, 6 or 7 months, we could have a deposit for a flat. Do you understand? Don't have to be no big money. We put money aside for a flat. We get one flat, get a mortgage, all the rest of it, rent it out, making a piece of money, making our income back. We do that 3 or 4 times in the space of 5 years. We'd have a portfolio. If we start thinking like that, instead of saying, listen, we need to go and bang on what are people called? Housing council things. Yeah, I need a place to live, and We need to think differently. Why is it every other culture can do it, but us as black people find some sort of issue and problem doing it? Sri Lankans have got it locked up. Vietnamese have got it locked up. Chinese have got it locked up. Pakistanis have got it locked up. What's our malfunction? Is it the slave mentality? Do for our own because we need to look after ourselves? Were we taught this? Is this in our blood? What is this? I don't get it.
Could go back to lower IQ.
Yeah, do you know what? This whole IQ thing, the bell curve.
I think it's like relevant. If I'm being honest.
What, the bell curve thing? Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
Sorry.
The bell curve experiment. Is that what you're talking about?
Well,
yeah.
All right, check this out. Check this out, though, right? Say I learned what I learned in my own language, right? Then I'm taken captive. So now I got to learn what I already know in your language, right? That's number one. So I got to learn a whole new language and learn what I already know in a whole new language. That's number one. Number two, you deprive people of sustenance and education for over 400 years. You can't sit here and make these crazy arguments without interjecting variables into the environment. And that's what a scientist does. I'm in the psychology field, which is part of science. So you can't just come up with these crazy notions that nobody wants to do nothing. And when there has been centuries of wars and civilizations being destroyed and things like that, they unearthing old civilizations on the continent as we speak. Cities that was destroyed. But you wasn't there, but you going off of some type of fictitious assessment about a certain people that went through trials and tribulations for a long period of time. We have other sects of people that was either killed off, which almost like the Native Americans, and then we got other groups of people that were, which is like the Australians, right? But at the end of the day, if you come somewhere and you see great structures prior to your existence, right? And at the end of the day, you have to assess that these people have some type of intelligence. You understand? Now, my findings when it comes down to psychology, because you want to tout the bell curve, so that is my field. I'm the authority on this panel with that. Not you. No disrespect, but not you. Unless you have some bachelor of science degree or something like that, you will not be able to interpret the information the way I can, because I'm trained. All right? No disrespect to you. But you got to interject variables into an environment. Now, that bell curve is right to an extent if you stay in an environment that fosters non-education and non-learning. Now, once you remove that same species from that non-learning environment and put them in a learning environment, they shall grow. You can't keep a species down. If you know this, that they had some people for 400 years against the law to read, right? That's 400 years of us being behind. Where 400 years, if you can excel, now we got to catch up to you, brother. You understand? And we got to learn your language and your interpretation and catch up to you. So when you don't introduce those types of
Excuse
narratives,
me.
you want to make it seem like, oh, people don't want to do nothing. Now, I have instances where in Black history that we started doing well when we had our own communities and it was taken from us. So I'm speaking from my perspective and from the information that I got, the information that you got. You could expound on. I don't know what it's like over there in the other side of the pond, but I'm just going to speak from my experience.
Mr. Fifth Avenue.
So that's basically that.
Mr. Fifth Avenue, do you know it's interesting? Every single point you just raised is what I raised early on. I had a conversation with Mr. Jay Nish and Mr. Liam, and exactly what you said is exactly what I said. The bell curve experiment. I'd heard of it a long time ago, but I dismissed it because I couldn't find it to be true, and we was discussing it earlier on today. Again, I can more or less echo everything you said. You cannot take people in a country like America. You cannot take black people and say their IQ is low, because for years, for hundreds of years, in fact, it was the education system wasn't applied to them. If it was very limited. It was only in the 1960s that blacks and whites were allowed to learn together.
Education.
I beg your pardon.
To do education.
IQ has nothing to do with education. Is that what your statement is? Okay, so
because if you think about it, there's small children.
If I think about it, okay, so you've just put a statement on there. Maybe I can
no, but
respond to it.
IQ has nothing to do with education, but yeah, respond.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll try and respond to that. Right?
It's called natural intelligence.
Natural intelligence, and you're basing all this research and evidence on what?
I'm basing it on 3-4 years old children scoring 180, 190 on their IQ test.
3 or 4 year old children. Can 3 or 4 year old children do IQ tests?
Do you know what IQ test is? Do you know what IQ test is?
Which IQ? Hold on. Fifth Avenue.
Now hold on. This is just getting mad long because we haven't come on to talk about IQ and all of that right now. We're actually talking about Kanye West, and slavery comment, and we're just getting mad.
I'm gonna go because that topic's boring.
All right.
Oh, can I say something then?
Yep, go ahead.
Well, if any of you know, last year there's a person or a man called, if you heard of him, he's called Ben Carson. He's a neurosurgeon. He made a statement on stage last year about how our African ancestors who were enslaved were immigrants, and I thought that was like a good thing to raise up, so something like that falls related. So we got to say something about that.
Okay. All right. Now, let me get back into this.
What do you got to say about that?
Hold tight. Listen. Hold tight for a hot second. Okay. I just want to do this. Shouts out to my brother Real Ak Ibrahim. I'll get you on in a little while, G.
Just remember what we talked about. Yeah, just let me know when I can do it.
Yeah, no problem. So hopefully we can play this without being given a strike on our channel from TMZ. But this was the footage to do with Kanye West and where he made the statement. I'm assuming I haven't seen it. We can play it.
Necessarily understand what happened last week with the Make America Great Again hat. What are you trying to do with the message you're sending?
Well, it was really just my subconscious. It was a feeling I had, like people were taught how to think. We're taught how to think for ourselves. We don't know how to feel for ourselves. People say feel free, but they don't really want us to feel free. And I felt a freedom. And first of all, just doing something that everybody tells you not to do. I just love Trump. That's my boy. Like, it's like so many rappers. You'll look at a video of Snoop Dogg loving Trump, but then he get in the office and now they don't love him. Like Trump is one of rap's favorite people, right?
But we talk about this, that before he was elected president, people in hip hop, it was an in thing to put Donald Trump in your rhyme somewhere.
And by the way, I am in hip hop, but I'm not just in hip hop. I'm a black person in the black community, but I'm not just that. I feel like one thing is people try to minimize me to artists, hip hop, black community. Yeah, I'm always gonna represent that, but I also represent the world. When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race. Blacks and whites is one race. Feel that I'm
Nah, G, who the hell was that? Who the hell was that? That came on and I had to just destroy everything. Don't worry, I'm soon gonna know.
feeling. Do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
I actually don't think you're thinking it. I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought. And the reason why I feel like that is because Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there is fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said. And while you are making music and being an artist and living the life that you've earned by being a genius, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. Frankly, I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real. Bro, you gotta be responsible, man.
Bro, I'm sorry I hurt you.
You gotta be responsible.
No, I'm sorry I hurt you, bro.
Bro, your voice is too big. You got.
All right. Unfortunately, yeah, we don't actually have the full footage, and I haven't seen the full footage. I have seen his explanation of what took place, but I haven't seen the full footage. And you know how it is with media; you could always make it seem to be one way rather than the other way. So based upon our first appraisal of this video, I want to know your thoughts of his statement, or statements, should I say. Let's get it.
I think, like I said before, I think I think the point he was trying to make didn't come out right. So when you said it sounded like a choice, it almost, we just jumped and just like, what, we just wanted to go on the boats, or we just wanted to do this. I think what he was saying, for people to remain in that condition for 400 years without even fighting or trying to gain their freedom in a mass way, that was lame. I'm not totally agreeing everything he said. I'm just saying I think it just came out wrong, or he just didn't put him in, he just didn't come over right.
Yeah, I think I'd echo that. I wouldn't say in the past 400 years. I'd say in the past at least 20 years for us to still be, it's a choice. It's a choice, especially in England. I can't really speak for America, but in England, it's a choice. You don't have to have that slave mentality.
Yeah, he got a point. He did mention about the slave mentality and mentally imprisoned. So yeah, Kangaroo's got a point. But it just came out wrong. Because everyone always goes through that. You want to say something, but it comes out wrong and you end up offending people, but you don't mean it. So that's kind of like a kind of problem that knowing people who speak or have a speech problem or something, I don't know.
All right. Let me get my sister in. Sia, what's good, sis?
Hey, thank you. Hi. How is everybody?
All good.
We're doing good.
Good.
Alan.
So what I want to say about Kanye West is, first of all, he's bipolar or something. I don't know what his deal is. But since he is with the Kardashians, he really changed his whole persona, his whole attitude about everybody. And I think what he says was dead wrong. How can he compare slavery that happened in the 1800s with modern day slavery, where people have the freedom to go on the internet, to search up stuff, to be freed from that, you know, what he's talking about, the financial strains and like the puppets, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we do have the ability to go on the internet. We do have the ability to go to universities, to, you know, to educate ourselves. And those people in that day didn't have that. Those people were being killed systematically, day in, day out. Even if they want to flee, they were being killed at the no freedom for them. There was no escaping. So for him to, you know, saying that it was a choice, it wasn't a choice for those people to stay in that kind of environment. They didn't have a choice. And the reason why get on so long, like reason why it went on so long for 400 years, was there was no laws. There was no laws to end slavery. You know, those people were being treated like less than, you know, animals. Like, black people didn't mean anything to anybody in that day. So there were no laws to end it. So, and I'm actually a little bit disappointed that there are some of you guys that, you know, are African and are, you know, have a black skin color. I don't want to sound racist. And you guys are like, yeah, Kanye West didn't mean it like that. Well, how did he supposed to mean it? I mean, it was wrong. It was dead wrong. So I don't understand how it come from you guys who are so pro-African, pro this, pro that, that you can come on this panel and say, oh, well, he didn't mean it like that. Nah, that's just not, that's not right.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what that's my opinion.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Let me see, man. I want to hype this one up. So the sister came in, man. She came in. She's blowing you up. Furthermore, she's blowing me up too. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Who's next on the panel? Let's get it. What are you saying? Everybody's humbled by the sister, yeah?
MK Ultra.
No, what I was going to say to her response, I agree with certain things that she's saying, but you have to understand that even in the Underground Railroad, there's some slaves that would rather just stay in that condition. There's some that wanted to be free. There's some that just wanted to remain in that condition. And the ones that wanted to be free, the ones who wanted to remain in that condition, was ready to grasp up the ones that wanted to be free. So we always had like a conflict. Those who wanted to remain slaves, those who wanted to remain free by any means necessary. And
that's right.
I think when he made the statement, he was basically saying, why would you have a slave conditioned mind when you're outnumber your slave master? Like, you can go to you can study and you can see, like, even in Jamaica, you had like 3 slave masters manning like 200 slaves. It's like, yeah. So why didn't you just jump in? Because they were probably scared of the backlash that they would get. But like I said,
there was the Maroons.
Oh no, let me say, it's better to die than live than a slave. And I think this is what he was trying to say. It just came out wrong. Not saying that I'm agreeing with his statement. I'm just saying he didn't explain himself right.
Yeah.
I think, so question. I got a question, yeah. Why is it, yeah, there's usually like 2 police officers, yeah, 2 police officers, and there is like this one black guy even getting arrested. It's one black guy getting arrested, yeah. Supposedly nothing like majorly wrong done, yeah. And you see everybody else here with their camera phones on, like just recording. Why is nobody intervening for that guy? Why is nobody intervening?
Yeah, because
I want to know, why is nobody intervening? You know what I saw the other day though, that was quite amazing to me. I saw, yeah, it was like school children, yeah, and it looked like there was a young boy who was being arrested, and just being manhandled by these 2 police officers, man and woman police officer, and it got a bit too much for them, and they said, "Nah, I'm not having a bar of it." And they started wrestling with the police officer, yeah, until both the police officers, or one of the police officers, landed himself on the floor, and then the children just dispersed. And I was thinking to myself, though, if your brethren was being wrongfully arrested, yeah, would you stand idly by and just record it, or would you be like those school children, yeah, who don't have no law,
definitely,
yeah, and arrest all the police officers?
But who are you guys
What would you do?
wrongfully arrested?
From my perspective, all three of us would be going to jail. That's just how I roll.
Say again?
Yeah, exactly. Fam, if the police are
Sorry, from my perspective, all three of us would be going to jail. That's how I roll. It's like me, you, and Gabs, Buddha go out on a night out. Our police is trying to arrest you just for no reason. All four of us would be going to jail.
100%.
Juvenile behavior.
That's like, I'm not going to be taking out my camera and, oh, look, Kalam's getting arrested. Let me just, all four of us are going to jail that night. That's just how I
What if I done something wrong?
Exactly.
And if you've done something wrong, you have to bear the consequences for that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree with that.
If you went into a shop, me and you are rolling, and you just decide to go into a liquor shop and steal a champagne, I'm like, Kalam, what are you doing? And you're like, yo. And then police catch you, I'm like, you're by yourself, bro. That's your crime. But if me and you are just walking out the club, chatting about girls, and the police don't like you, which happens, and just start harassing you, all four of us are going to.
Yeah, that's 100.
The American gun.
Enough of this victim blaming.
Let's get it.
If he goes, we all
right,
go.
brother Ibrahim. Yep, Ibrahim, what you got to add on this, man?
To be honest with you, honestly, personally, I think what Kanye said is absolutely horrendous. I'm not going to comment too much because I think this is probably the first, this is just the first time I've heard him say that, you know. I've seen all the reactions on social media, but this is the first time I've heard Kanye say that because Kalam just showed it now. When I heard it, I don't know what was going through his head. It was a choice. Okay, fair enough what the brother said about there was 3 white guys and 300 black guys. They could have just banged them out, but it was a choice in what sense, fam? The black people were shook. They thought, oh, if we do anything to these white guys, then the whole country's gonna come after us. They're gonna come with their big guns, their big cannons, and then blow us up. Of course, they were thinking that. You see?
Do you know what, Kalam? Sorry, brother. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, and in terms of what Kalam just said, if my boy was getting arrested for no reason, there's no chance that I'm not getting involved. If he just murdered someone, if he just stabbed someone, if he done something like drugs or something like that, then he has to face the consequence. But if it's for no reason, are you crazy if I'm not getting involved? That's not me saying I'm gonna bang the people out because I'm not stupid like that. But I'm not letting it go down like that.
Do you know? I was gonna say, Kalam. I don't really want to get too graphic because it's a live stream. But are we all aware of the atrocities that were leveled on the slaves during the slave trade? Are we? I'm not talking about roots and films. I'm actually talking about real torture that was leveled on the slaves. Are we all aware of that? We got to know that they took everything to control. It's not just control by chains and shackles. It's control of the mind.
Yeah.
When you're reliant on your slave master to feed you and clothe you, if you're not picking enough cotton in the field, you know what? You ain't getting fed today. Yeah, when you're getting whipped, and you're not getting no medication, do you know what that does to a human being? I can go into serious graphic things that I don't want to go to talking about what they've done to pregnant women. Yeah, if you was ever caught running, do you think it was just you that was getting whipped?
The whole
your female partner, your children, all of that, they were held to hostage and to ransom. So it's not as easy as one may think. So when Kanye says that, I'm sure that he's not referring to those times. I'm sure he's only referring to these times. If he's referring back to those times, he's truly insane.
Well, why would it be a choice? Why would it be a choice? If it was a choice, then there would be no needs to chain up the slaves on the slave ship. So obviously, I think people just jumped to say, what? It was a choice? They just all went on the... I don't think he was trying to convey that. I think he was just trying to say, why would you remain in that condition for so long?
They were only chained during transportation, yeah?
Don't let no one, or or describe or interpret any type of perception, perspective that you're trying to convey, and use the right terminology and wording. So he has to be concise. You can't really speak from your heart. I see a lot of people, even in this community, speak from their heart sometimes, and you got to go back and retract and say, yo, this is what I meant. But if you took time out to dissect your thought, then you wouldn't have to do that as much. You wouldn't need PR and things of that nature. So I just try to be calculated just within my life. You understand? Do research before I tread in certain places. Because if I had the chance to record a Kanye or I trust me, he would leave with some type of real understanding and some type of literature, some books, and want to probably highlight.
Man trying to silence people, you know.
Say that again.
Yeah. Yep. So let's see if we can get a consensus. Yeah. Being kidnapped, tortured, and enslaved and put on slave ships. I think we all pretty much agree that was not a choice, right? Being enslaved, let's say in America for, let's say, the first 200-300 years, what are we saying? Is that a choice or hell no? That was no choice.
It depends, really.
I don't think it was.
I don't think that
starting from
it wasn't a choice. If you're like I'm saying,
I think it depends, really.
Cool. So I think we all agree that that was hell no, not a choice. But the neo-slavery that's taking place right now, what are we saying?
Oh, yeah, Kalam, can you give me an example of neo-slavery in England?
Neo-slavery in England? Yeah. Still continuing the what's the word? The after effects of slavery back then.
Like for
example, yeah.
Kalam, sorry, can you just tell them to mute their mic because I'm not hearing them properly.
Yeah, can you guys let me mute your mics for you guys actually. All right. So let's just say one of the after effects of slavery back then, or the slavery that we had back then, was literally pitting two slaves or enslaved individuals against each other. So there was some form of divide and conquer techniques that was taking place, as well as dependency and vying for master's attention. And we see it today now with inside of the black psyche, where black people find some sort of reason to be against one another. We either find colorism, shadism, whatever the case is, i.e. the light-skinned slave versus the dark-skinned slave, the one who's gone through the educational system versus the one who's not gone through the educational system, the one who is on the roads versus the one who's been, who's in a corporate style job and so forth. You find this still type of hang up of not being accepted in the collective amongst each other. There is this inbreeding and fighting, and there is still this dependency upon the white man. I'm going to do white man, so to speak. We still find it. We still are being dependent on working or being employed by, as black people. I don't want to say white people because that's not the right term, but we have this viewing people. We start to view things from black and white. So I'm going to use the word white right now. We rather go through the white employment path rather than working for black people, for example, or being employed by ourselves. We rather depend upon, let's say, the housing or the council system rather than doing for ourselves or working with ourselves to build something. We're always dependent and we're always fighting against each other for some reason or another. If black, or we're always going into these black businesses or black stores or whatever the case is, and we're always asking for discounts. We're always asking for discounts. But when it is a white-owned store or Asian-owned store, there's never one time where we say, yo, boss, I beg you give me like a £20 discount on this one I'm about to buy today, or I want to buy my meat, I want discount. We don't do that. But when it comes to our own stuff, we're always looking for some type of discount. We're always devaluing each other as black people. These are some of the hang-ups that has, or the residues of slavery that's still impacting the psyche of black people today.
Yep, that's the Willie Lynch effect right there.
Yep. Some Jim Crow turn up. I'd like to add another one to that. And I know they're going to get some haters out there, but promiscuous.
Slavery's been abolished anyway.
Yep.
Promiscuousness from men, like the slave mentality. You know what? Go and breed with as many women as you can and have as many children as you can, so you can build up the slave stock. And that's a culture. I don't know if that's a cultural thing but that is, that's propagated through generation after generation after generation, and then being an absent father at the same time.
Going back to Kalam, what he said, just use the word European or African to identify what your statement is. European Africa, because Europeans are responsible for all the crap that's happening right now. Europeans.
Let me just say this.
Are you guys just gonna pretend that blacks didn't own slaves as well?
No.
The reason why I don't use the reason why I choose not to use European or English or whatever the case is because it's not actually that. It's a social. For example, the black and white is a social construct that's been created and has an identity behind it. So hence, I'm going to use the term white and black in this instant. Normally, I wouldn't, but for this time, it actually fits the incident. Go ahead, Phil.
It's your show, so do what you want.
Yeah, but I just wanted to read something real quick. There was the Zulu Wars that happened, right? And it says in 1879, the British fought a war against the Zulu kingdom. The Zulus resisted bravely and were only defeated after a series of particularly bloody battles. And if you look at the pictures, it's very bloody and gruesome. But when they say resisted bravely, who gets the notion that someone wants to be enslaved? When it's put into, why would a bloody battle, why would 300-year wars occur, trying to wrestle up people in a certain continent, like, why would you have to bring guns and things of that nature? Because they're going to resist. So that's just all I want to say. It just gets to the point where psychologically, when people argue and say certain things and they miss and don't highlight a lot of the variables that go into it, they generalize and they hurt people, because the slave word alone, the word slave, with everybody that's ever been affected by their civilization, they're going to feel a certain way about it. All right? The Native Americans are going to feel some way about it. The Jews are going to feel some way about it. Black people are going to feel some way about it. Any nation that has had a long, stressed time and oppressed time in being enslaved will always have some type of feelings, and it depends how long and how recent it occurs. So I just want to make sure that point is given, and whenever you debate something, all right, and that's basically that, and I'm signing off. Scholar.
Yo,
gang. Scarlet Squad. All right, family. We're literally reaching the end of this particular discussion. I do want to open it up to my Christians and Muslims and everybody else. We're going to do religious debates. Okay, I'm going to slowly wind down. Next 3 minutes, I would love to start off some religious debates, Christian, Muslims. I know that's what you guys been asking for. So yeah, let's try to get that in as well. Real quickly, let me just quickly go into the comment section. So if you've got any questions or comments right now, please tag Titans TV and drop your questions and comments. Also, we've had like loads of people passing through the show, over 150 people tuned in, but we've only received 40 likes. Family, I don't know if you lot really are here to support us or not. So if you are here to support us, please hit the like button and let us know that you're here to support us. Again, hit the like button if you're here to support us and you're enjoying the show so far. We're trying to make it as controversial and as varied as possible. So we're really looking to have you being interactive with us and showing us what you like and telling us, where we can actually improve as well. Oh, man. So let's get it now. Let's actually get it. What else are we going to do? We're going to finish off this particular discussion. So we've got another 3 minutes and we'll enter the religiously minded debates. And I can get my brother Ibrahim on a little bit later on in the next 5 minutes to have his say. But right now, let's get it. Let's get it.
I want to say something
Let's finish
about
up
the
and
Kanye West subject.
Go ahead.
Well, everybody was saying about, how slaves were treated, and it still doesn't explain why Kanye West was example in that studio where he was. I think he is mentally ill. I don't want to like label people, but the fact that he used such an example says a lot about his state of mind. Ever since his mother died of that surgery and he married the Kardashians, and I don't know, he changed. But you guys are, giving examples how slaves were treated and how possibly they were conditioned to be in that situation. But it still wasn't a choice. It still wasn't a choice for that slaves to be there, even if they were conditioned. I mean, they're being killed off, and if a slave was sick, he would be thrown off the boat. So that was the kind of situation they were in. And I don't, I still don't see how you guys, well, some of you can make excuses for Kanye West just because he's a rapper and from hip hop and whatnot. To me, he's not an icon. I don't know why people worship him like he's some idol to them. I don't know. I don't see his talent. I'm sorry. But I just want to say this is that this is his way of promoting his new album, his new shoes, and I think that a lot of people are falling for that trap. And yeah, that's my last thoughts on it.
Well, in honesty, I didn't know he had a new album or new shoes out. So I can tell you that I don't worship him whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's a certain respect for him. It's like, okay, if a white man would have said be up in arms, you will all be like, oh, whoa, what did he say? But because it's Kanye West, there's some type of respect, there's some type of protecting him from the backlash. But I think that it's really wrong how those people were living in that day. We just have like a snippet in history books and history lessons, but for him to actually use that example like it's a choice, no, man, that's just like, as a white woman, like I'm not white, I'm North African. And even if people don't agree with me being North African, I don't care. But to me, if somebody uses slavery or any other tragic that happened in history to say that it was a choice, is not done. It's really a shameful thing that he said. And I agree with everybody who says that he should be, have repercussion for that, like taking ads away from him and stuff. And I really think this is his dirty way of promoting his new album. And it's really shameful, embarrassing.
Well, let me put this out there.
Can I answer your question?
Do you think that if history was supposed to repeat itself today, that black man in America or England would fight? Or would they just accept slavery?
They would accept, because there's a lot of like people from different races who will support them right now, which wasn't the case back then. Back then there was just white people versus black people, and we evolved as a nation. Like I'm living in Holland, but I still feel very much passionate about the black rights in America.
So you're saying for
and
450 years there was no one to help them?
Well, there was more oppression going on. I don't think that those people were able to get out because there was no laws implemented. When there's laws, people have to like abide by those certain rules, and at that time there was no laws. It was still a segregation. It was still like black people versus white people. They cannot mix with each other. Even in the Constitution, there was no black rights. There was no,
So when you said there's no laws, were you saying there was no laws for the land, or there was just no laws for black people?
There was no laws like for black people. Black people didn't have the right to vote. They didn't have the right to work. They didn't have the right to go to restaurants and go to the toilet. Like that's the degree of their oppression, and I don't think those people had a chance.
Well, let me put it to Kalam and Buddha. If history was supposed to repeat itself and you were told to work in some factory and this is going to be your life, would you fight or would you accept your condition?
To the death.
I think that's a very good question, and I think we all would say we would fight to the death, but the reality is I don't think we would. And why do I say that? Is there was slavery going on in Libya for quite some time. We've only
I was just about to mention that, I was just about to mention
Some of us have only been aware of it within the last year or so. But as far as the reports have been going, especially from my Somalian and my Eritrean brothers, they've been saying that this has been taking place for over 10 years now. So I actually fear that some of us would literally succumb to slavery. And as the broader community, I think we would do absolutely nothing about it. And we will play as though we don't know anything about it. So, I would love to say that we would all fight, but I don't know. I think after a prolonged period of time, maybe we would just succumb back to slavery.
I think I disagree with that. I don't think that we would succumb to slavery because we learned from that time, and I think there's a lot of like protection for, even though it doesn't seem that way, there's a lot of protection like for people not to be being treated like that. I never knew about that situation which you're talking about in Libya, or I never knew about that. But to actually say we would succumb to slavery again and that the history will repeat itself, no, I rather think that that's not going to happen. I don't even think that's even possible. I see the state of this world being more evolved than that, to be honest.
Well, to be honest with you, in the last couple of years, if you want to add up the figures of how much black men and black women have died and the killings that was going on in America, I didn't really see other people intruding and saying this can't be done and other nations doing anything. I've seen guys being shot point blank and police walking away. Where's the other nations? Where's the outcry? As Dr. Clark
there is outcries. There is outcries, but there's not enough.
That's my point. So therefore, if slavery happens again, no one's going to come in to help us, just like they didn't do then.
I disagree with that. But
quick question: somebody once said to me that there are more people in the prison system in America than there were as slaves back during the time of slavery. I don't know if that's true or not. Can somebody give me some information on that, if you have it? Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm just talking out my head. But if that is the case, though, that is like a modern day slavery is going on, where people are literally locked up. Fair enough, they're criminals, but a lot of these people, aren't real criminals. And what I mean by real criminals is that, no, I don't want to go there with you on the real criminals. That's another thing. But a lot of these people are locked up in prison, literally working and doing all these things, not being paid, etc., etc. That is another form of slavery. But is there an outcry? Is there people saying, no, this cannot happen? Being hanged literally up until this day. Is there an outcry? There is still, as you quite rightly said, people are being shot both by civilians and by law enforcement agencies. But where is the outcry? Are people just simply, saying, yep, this is just part and parcel of being black in America or being black in wherever it is? I think it's still continuing. Slavery in some form, shape or form, not outright shackles, but slavery is still continuing. And I think we're still, being lulled back to sleep by deception. And I think we're still in slavery, to be honest with you.
You can't compare those two with each other. You can't. You have the freedom to liberate yourself from that, mental shackles, emotional shackles. You have the ability to move to another country, start over. You have the ability to, make money, search for a job, even if it's difficult. You have all which those people didn't have. Those people, even though you're talking about, we don't have the shackles right now, but you still have the liberty to change your life. I don't believe that the American built like that they just pick up black people from the street and just throw them in jail. That's not the case.
No, they do worse. They're living in this country for 65 years and then they go to their house and deport them. How do you work that out?
Oh, wow.
That's America. That's
England. That's England, love. That's the Windrush generation. I know it's a different topic, but what you're saying is grandmothers has been living in this country for 65 years. They go to their house, say, you're not British. We're sending you back to somewhere where you don't know. This has been going on for time, but where is the outcry? Where is the outcry from other nations? You don't see it.
They're having to cash plastics still.
Yep.
I think
So
that's a
yeah,
whole different topic about the immigration laws in the UK or America. I don't
Would
agree being deported without any reason or valid reason, but if you're there for 6 years and you didn't apply for a visa, or I don't know what you mean by that, like being picked up and be thrown out to your country, that's a whole
Someone came
different
here
topic.
65
Yo,
years
Buddha.
ago. 65 years ago.
But legally or illegally?
No, through the Windrush generation, they were invited here. You understand that?
I don't think she is aware of what the Windrush is. So
Okay, so I won't.
No,
maybe
I'm not sorry. Excuse me,
maybe
I'm not.
after the show we'll explain it.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Yeah, but basically, people that's been here in this country for over 50 years, are being deported. People that have a life, have family, have bought houses, pay into their pension fund and so forth. They're being what's the word? Deported back to a country that they barely even know. Okay, that's what's going on. So there is all different forms of slavery that's going on today. There's slavery is still continuing. Let's not be naive about it. It's still going on, and it's nothing to do. As I said, this is neo-slavery. It's got nothing to do with the color of your skin or anything like that. Everybody is shackled right now. Everybody is enslaved in one shape, form, or another. But that's a very large topic, and I don't think we can cover it right now, especially because we've gone over the hour mark. I was only hoping for us to hit the 45-minute mark and start the second topic. All right. So the second topic tonight is to do with religion. Okay. I'm not too sure what the question is on religion, but it is religion. Okay. It is religion. So